Hey y'all, it's Guard with yet another Set 6 draft. So let's go ahead and join the expert queue. And seems like Frostfall Tracker is in every one of my starting packs. Uh, Looks like the game really wants me to draft Umbreak. So my favorite card in this pack is probably Frostfang Maiden. I don't think it's the best card in the pack, I just really like it. It's super fun to play with and gets into some like a really cool strategy. Best card in the pack is Stinging Invocation. Unfortunately, it's a card I hate playing with because you can't control it at all. Like sometimes it makes 3Bs, sometimes it makes 1B, but it's always actually pretty ridiculous because the poison just adds up so much over time. It's kind of silly, and you can just win on like turn one if you go on the play 3 Killer Bees. It's actually really hard to come back from that, and that's actually why I hate playing against it as well. Other cards, not really worth talking about. Hammerfang and Ronti Warlord are really decent Yetis. Lava Fuse Dacer is okay. Nothing exciting. And I don't really like Lava Frostwall Tracker that much. Stinging Invocation is the pick here, but if I weren't picking Stinging Invocation, I'd probably pick Ronti Warlord next. And then Frostfang Maiden, then like Tracker, Hammerfang, Acer. But the Invocation's a pretty easy pick here. I do not like being in Esperion a whole lot. Esperion's the Aloyan one with the Flowsteel Carrier. And I definitely don't want to be in Dejin. Okay, best card in the pack is probably Flowsteel Carrier or Bloodbindings. But they're not like very good. They're just like decent cards. They're commons. You see them all the time. So I don't really feel the need to like... Basically, you'd be picking them to go into their colors, right? Countermeasure is okay. It's nothing spectacular. And Necrotic Worm is bad, and Stranglevine Hydra is also bad. But I'm going to take the Hydra here because it keeps me in Utera. Because with Sting Invocation, I really like going Utera, Tempest, Umbric. Because they have a lot more board control than the other colors, which seems weird because Utera is Tempest is usually an aggressive thing, but it does a lot of different things in this format with Nargath Bruiser and Borean Stormweaver. So I'm going to take the Hydra here and hope to get something really good that's Tempest. And it's actually not a hard pick at all. Arcworm's a decent card. It's actually pretty small. It ranks 2 and 3. It's decently sized, but not, fantastic. It's got a cute little ability that damages them whenever a creature you control moves. And most importantly, all of these cards are awful. So Arcworm's a pretty easy pick here. It's Zephyr Mage versus Flamejet. Zephyr Mage is fine. It's hard level gated. It gives creatures mobility. I don't like playing it because it's so small at rank 3, and rank 2 it's not very big either. Flamejet's one of the best removal spells in the format now because there just aren't that many. It's like Frost Shatter Strike, Flamejet, Shatter Bolt. Those are the 3 main ones. Blood Boil is okay, but not amazing. I do like Flamejet though. Featherfangs would be good if I had like Thunderstomp or Pterodon Rex or something like that mattered about dinosaurs. But Featherfang is so common, you can pick up like a billion of them. So I'm just going to take the Flamejet here. And I do not like Scatter the Seeds, so I'm just going to take a 7/7. This pack's not very good. I've got the Hammerfang versus Dryad's Boon. I really like Hammerfang. It also actually works with Arcworm, which is cute. Not, the best interaction because Arcworm is pretty small. It's got its own cost of playing it. But Hammerfang's a 10/10 at rank 2, which is the gold standard. 10/10 is really good stats. And it's hard to block because you put something in front of it and it just moves away. So I like it a lot. Dryad's Boon's also really good in this color combination because you can pick up Kadrassan Stoneback and put a Dryad's Boon on it, and opponents will actually have a hard time taking that down because you can just keep playing creatures and the Kadrassan Stoneback only ever attacks on your terms. Otherwise it just has Defender. So I'm going to take the Hammerfang because I don't have a Stoneback yet. And the pick here is between Swamp Moss Ancient and Blizzard Shaman. I usually tend to prefer Blizzard Shaman because it's got a lot more utility, but Swamp Moss Ancient's a much harder common to find. People pass Blizzard Shaman all the time, but I never actually get multiple Swamp Moss Ancient, so I'm going to take this giant 7/7 that goes into a 12/12, right here. Even though it doesn't have a rank 3, it's still better than, what's that card? Kadris Colossus? It's a 6/6, 11/11, 13/13. That card is nowhere near as good as Swamp Moss Ancient. It's very similar. So we've got Blizzard Shaman versus Aethertap Shaman. I think Aethertap Shaman's a little better. It's got a little more controllable board control than Blizzard Shaman, and it's bigger at rank 3. They're not as big at rank 2. I could see this going either way, but I tend to prefer Aether Shaman because it's got a little more aggressive. And I'll take the Flame Instigator because I can pick up Steam Sentinels and stuff like that. Cavern Serpent works well with Stinging Invocation, and I like having multiple sources of poison damage when I'm playing like an aggressive reach deck where I need poison to finish them off. I don't have any Dark Forge and I haven't seen any yet, so I'm just going to take the Thrantic Ambusher, one of my favorite cards, giant 7/7, can't really go wrong with it, scales very well. Bright Tusk Sword is a card I really like, but I'm just going to take another 7-power creature, 7/6. There was a card in that pack that I didn't talk about, but I should have. I'm trying to remember what it was. I forgot because I started looking at this pack. Oh well. The Dendrify is a pretty easy pick here. It's a decent removal spell. You can turn your own creatures into 7/7s during rank 1 to level it. It's very good. It's better than all these other cards. Like Umberskin Yeti is... I wouldn't mind picking it up if this were something random like a Stranglevine Hydra. I'd probably pick the Yeti here and try to pick up more Darkforged. But since Dendrify is just as good as Umberskin Yeti and way more versatile, I'm just going to take it here. And take a second Flame Jet instead of these two bad creatures. So these cards are both bad. Flame Fury Shaman is really small and it has to live a turn before it does something, and it can't give itself attack. Glowhive Siren is actually pretty decently sized at rank 2 and 3, but gains me health when it dies, so that's probably a little better. And then we've got Flamebreak Invoker as a card that isn't good in this deck. A third Aethertap Shaman or like a Rimehorn Charger. Actually, I'd probably take Brawler or a Rimehorn Charger. It's clearly the Aethertap Shaman. Just keep picking up as many 7/6s as I can. I could take the Steam Sentinel because I have a Flame Instigator, but I really like Blizzard Shaman. It's one of my favorite cards. I think it's the best card in this pack. Twin Strength seems pretty good with the 3 Aethertap Shamans I have. Not only do I get to pump them, they also gain mobility. And the Razor Tooth Stalker is too hard to connect with nowadays, and Fireman Steed's not really that great. So now we're going to take, I guess, Zephyr Mage. I'm not a huge fan of Spirit Bloom Dryad. It is a 6/7, but it scales horribly. 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 is not very good. Zephyr Mage is also an 8/10 at rank 2, but it gives creatures mobility if you choose to play it. And Vigor Wisp, I actually kind of like. If you Twin Strength it, you can heal your own creatures. If this were a casual draft, I'd take the Deep Patron because I don't actually have very many. I think I only have one. But it's not good in this deck. It's only a 7/4, and its rank 2 is actually pretty weak. 10/7 is... Do you see how many 7-power creatures I have just at rank 1? I have 6 7-power creatures, so my rank 2 creature, because I'm never gonna get the ability from it, right? It's just gonna be blocked by a level 1 creature, and it's gonna feel bad when it dies. So I'm not gonna take the Patron. The 2 cards here are 3. Actually, I guess these 4 cards: Bruiser, Shatterbolt, Sower, and Flamestoke Shaman, are all pretty good. I guess we'll go in order. Naggaroth Bruiser is really good at shifting combat in your favor. It's a really good card to have, especially with all these high power creatures. I can kill multiple creatures with one, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Bruiser. Shatterbolt's just a removal spell. It procs my Aethertap Shamans to give them mobility, and downside of that is I do have a lot of spells and already 2 Flame Jets, though Shatterbolt can target the face to help with my Stinging Invocation plus Cavern Serpent burn plan. Flamestoke Shaman's just a decent aggressive creature. It's not aggressive itself, but it gives other things aggressive, which is super nice because you can like play a Stinging Invocation or any of these 7-power creatures and give them haste and attack immediately to give you an extra like sort of turn of attacking. It's very nice. And Bright Tusk Sword is just a decent creature. It helps me work with Twin Strength because it puts 2 creatures on the board. But I actually think Naggaroth Bruiser is the pick here. Nargath Bruiser. Having a lot of high power creatures is very good with Nargath Bruiser, because these 7-power creatures usually kill anything that they're going to be blocking, and they'll usually trade. Like you throw something in front of a Brawler, for instance, and then it kills that thing, and then they put something else in front of it that kills it. So if they put like a 7/7 in front of your 7/7, you can give it +2 power. Or +2 health, I mean, so it lives and then kills another creature, because 7-power creatures generally take down other 7-power creatures. Like, they take down everything at rank 1. That's just kind of how it works. This pick's actually pretty hard. It's between Stoneback and Frostshatter Strike. I really like Stoneback. It's a very strong card, being a 10/10 at rank 2 with mobility 1 and a 16/16 at rank 3. But Frost Shatter Strike is Frost Shatter Strike. It's a super good removal spell, affects multiple lanes. I actually think this pick's pretty hard, but I want to go for the Stoneback. Helps me have another big creature at rank 1, even though it's kind of defensive. It doesn't attack every turn, and this pick's very easy. Werewood Ranger is very strong. It's just like a pretty small creature, or it's the size of like what Nexus Overwatch, but it makes your other creatures bigger, which is huge. Deepwood Bear Rider is the second pick I think in this pack because it's got that kills everything at rank 2 mentality. Verdant Grace is not very good, and Stegodon's just a decent creature, but nothing spectacular. I think it's only an 8/11, 7/11 at rank 2. And I think this is where I pick up the Steam Sentinel. I don't need a second Instigator with only one wall. I guess I have the Stoneback, but I try not to give the Stoneback loss of Defender. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it isn't. Third Flamejet or Rhymehorn Charger? Since I only have 2 removal spells plus a Dendrify, I think I'd rather have the Flamejet than the Rhymehorn Charger. Rhymehorn Charger scales absolutely horribly. 10/13 rank 3 is really bad. Even though it encourages you to play it early, because it's a 5/8 with mobility 1 and then an 8/11 with mobility 1, you get punished really hard in rank 3, because this does not do... This level 3 Ram does not match up against anything very well. And I already have a really good early game already with like Steam Sentinel, Ancient, Brawler, 3 Shamans, a Blizzard Shaman, a Stoneback, and a Thranik Ambusher. So I'm just going to take the Flamejet, help my big creatures clear the way for them. So I've got 5 spells here, 6 spells with for the Sower. It's not huge. Flame Lance is okay. It's, I think, worse than Flamejet because it doesn't scale nearly as well. It's 5/7/9. Even though it hits the opponent and contributes a little to the burn, it's not a huge amount. Vigor Wisp is a little on the small side for my liking at rank 2. 5/5 and to 9/9 is nowhere near as good as like these cards I already have. I would really like a pump spell like an Ursine Strength. I would slam an Ursine Strength. I just don't I don't feel comfortable taking Raise 2 Stalker because I don't have any pump spells other than the Werewood Ranger. And Twin Strength is not... Making it a 6/7 is good, but it requires another creature in play, which you don't always have the luxury of having. We've got Dendrify. That could be the pick. I could take Shatterbolt just for burn plus removal spell. Every time I pick multiple Dendrifys, I never actually use them as removal spells. I tend to just have them clog up my hand, so maybe I just want Shatterbolt. It's a lot more flexible, helps my 7/7s. Because if I Dendrify something, usually my creatures are they're just gonna trade with my creatures, which I mean is good because it's not gonna have a leftover Tree Folk to deal with. But I usually want to just kill the damaged creature with like a Shatterbolt or a Flame Lance. And okay, so if I'm going between Shatterbolt and Flame Lance, what am I looking at here? On the plus side, Shatterbolt kills like basically everything with armor, and there's some really high armor creatures in this format, like Flowsteel Carrier, Forgeplate Sentry, and Forge Plate Sentry. There's Forge Watch Sentry and Forge Plate Sentry. The one is a 6/6 with 6 armor that dies when it gets damaged, and the other one's a 4/4 with 1 armor that scales up to a 15/15 with 5 armor. So I'm going to take the Shatterbolt here. I like it more than Flame Lance. It doesn't hit the face at the same time it hits the creature, but it basically is really, really strong against armor decks, and I like having one. And it's just about every Umbric draft I do. Okay, but the world really wants me to pick a Dendrify, but with 7 spells already, 6 spells I guess, because Stinging Invocation is a creature. I don't know if I can justify taking another Dendrify, especially if I have 0 Bright Tusk Sowers. So I don't really have any really good creatures to Dendrify at level 1, which is something I look to do because playing at a level 1 is very risky. 7/7 is the strongest type of creature usually at rank 1, and you don't want to give your opponent one. Could take the Caudrous Colossus or the Deep Branch Prowler. I like Colossus more than Deep Branch Prowler. If I had more pump spells, I'd probably take the Prowler, but the Colossus is okay. I don't feel like Darkstone Acer is worth talking about. It's way too small for its like little Magma Hound effect, so we're gonna just take the Colossus. Steam Sentinel versus Herald. One stops me from dying to Snowdrift and Stinging Invocation. The other one is an 8/6 Defender. So that makes the choice pretty easy. Ooh, Ursine Strength. That's nice. I only have 1 pick left after this. Pyre Mystic is not amazing, so I don't feel bad not taking it. And I do like the pump spell, especially with Kadrasan Stoneback and Vigor Wisp. And then I could take Glowhive Siren or 6/7. I'll just take the early game threat. So, I think this deck turned out decent. I only have 2 heroics, but one of them is a Sneaking Invocation, which is one of the better heroics in the format. And the rest of the deck's decent. I kind of like where it ended up. I'm still pretty super aggressive due to like all the Aether Tap Shamans and Thranic Embusher I have. So I'll have to try to win early instead of dirtling around late. But I'm going to end this video, get some water, and start the round 1 in the next video. So see y'all.